band by the name of The Misunderstood. It was recorded in 1966, and it was released in 1969, and it hasn't been available since, to the best of my knowledge. Now here's the good news for members of the Misunderstood cult, and there are, I believe, many of you around the country. It's out now as a single. It's been re-released on Cherry Red Records. It's called Children of the Sun. Now, surprisingly, 1966, the year when the Crass actually recorded, I beg your pardon, when the Misunderstood recorded that, is the year that some members of the Crass can actually remember. Now, Crass have just completed a new album which should be out on their own label soon. Of course, it is entirely possible that that news means absolutely nothing to you, because Crass could really be described as the only true underground band at the moment on the British scene. They sell records in quantities that any major label would be more than satisfied with. For instance, their LP, Stations of the Crass, a double album at £3, has now sold over 60,000 copies in this country. That's an £180,000 worth of business at retail level. But they managed to do this without using any of the normal advertising and promotional outlets and the hype and all that stuff. They've got their own label entirely distributed by the independent Rough Trade Organisation, which works well enough to place 6 of their singles in the present independent top 50. They very, very rarely give interviews, and then invariably only to fanzines. However, 2 founder members, singer Steve Ignorant and drummer-producer Penny Rimbaud, did agree to talk to Rock On, as you'll hear after this, which is an excerpt from The Gas Man Cometh, which is a track that you'll find on their album, Stations of the Crass.
The train now standing on platform 4. What will you do when the gas taps turn? Where will you be when the bodies burn? Will you just watch as the cattle trucks all by, pretending to attack happening, turn a blind eye? See the army convoys quietly passing by, and the helicopters in your little bit of sky, and you see the squad cars packed with boys in blue. Have you ever wondered what they're there to do? Pictures in the papers of soldiers in the street, pictures in the history books of rotting human meat. Ashes now and forest spots they conquered on the fly, stealing working order just for you and I. Photos of the big tins of gas and gun and bomb, inheritance of violence in the bookshelves of your own. Don't wait for it to come to you, it's coming, surely will. The guardians of the state are trained to first destroy and kill. People saying that this moment fingers on the trigger, rolls since they made it by the finger. Release to the flag, that's how they lock the prison door. Release to the malady, while the bomb is full. God created country, that's how we got a choice. It's been true, if you can't know boys, from a camera on the airways, the way to live. Not you and me, the alternative. I do my face tonight, and we got 20 points. Torture their mental health, another employee. Keep us all in love across the different zones. If we stand against their power, see our violence grows. Read it in the paper, betting for the excuse. The standards of violence, they're not the truth. Buying line or pay the cost. Think they care, even have a last love.
That's The Gas Man Cometh from Crass's album The Stations of the Crass, which was out in late 79. An example of the old Crass, you might say, a style that's changed very much, as you'll hear very soon on their new album. I think one of the extraordinary things about Crass is that you are probably the band that matters most in the whole world to 60 or 70,000 people, perhaps more than that. And then the majority of even the rock public, the people who are really interested in the music, know very little about you. What's the ideas behind it?
Well, I mean, they're just extensions of the way we live. Some of us have lived together upwards to 15 years, and during that time we've tried to find ways to sort of expand on sort of normal relationships with each other and sort of with the world around us. During that time, we've tried to go out into the world around us to sort of express some of the things that we've found out in our own lives. And the band's basically an extension of that. That's what it grew from.
Yeah. Does it? It actually goes back to the hippie era, in effect, does it?
Well, I mean, I sort of hedge away from that sort of label, just
Yeah.
as I think that we hedge away a bit from the punk label. But yes, of course it does. I mean, the origins of the house were maybe pre-hippie. We were inspired by just the ideas of offering people facility and space to think and be, and that's what it still operates on. We're not strictly a commune in the sort of commune sense of the word. We live communally, but we very much sort of believe in the concept of the individual and the operation and the rights of the individual.
But as a group of people, you evolved into being a band about 78, I think, didn't you?
77.
77, was it? Yeah. Now, is that something to do with you, Steve? I mean, one of the obvious extraordinary things about Crass is sitting in front of me, which is that two of the founding members are, 20 years apart in age, which is a most unusual thing in a group, isn't it?
No, I wouldn't say it was me that really started it. I mean, it was just a coming together of ideas, really. I mean, I just sort of mentioned that I was thinking of starting a band, and it was just sort of grew from there. I mean, it was just for me, it was a time of like real depression when I was like absolutely sickened by everything that was going on, and when I saw that other people were actually being able to say something in a way that they wanted to, just picking up a guitar and thrashing it around, and I figured that's what I wanted to do, and do it better. Or not necessarily do it better, but do it just as well.
Steve had been coming to the house for, maybe 5-6 years prior to the time we started the band. And, been involved in things we'd done. Like when we helped set up the first Stonehenge festival, and you came down on that, didn't you?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So it wasn't as if we just sort of decided one day we ought to do something like the band. Steve wrote some words, and I'd got a drum kit, and we just mucked around in it, and we got us a living out of it.
Right, for the moment we'll turn to some of the new music so you can hear exactly how different Crass have become from that first track from the Stations of the Crass. This is from their new album Penis Envy. It's a track called Poison in a Pretty Pill. That's Poison in a Pretty Pill from Crass's new album, Penis Envy. Penis Envy sounds like a fairly indicative and thematic title. Poison in a Pretty Pill. What's the poison? Who's being poisoned? What's it all about?
That particular song, without sort of analysing it out of existence, was basically about the sort of horror felt by the woman who wrote it about, male and female roles. I mean, it's got some very sensitive bits about how a woman relates to a man's world of war and blood and barbarism. There's bits about blood-red poppies in the fields and how the blood-red poppy must feel being in the field, a form of sort of poetry on the subject of war. Most of the record, all the record, expresses a woman's view. I don't think that's exclusive. Obviously, it isn't exclusively a woman's view of things, because all of the rest of the band are men. But it is broadly a feminist statement. The whole record represents a feminist statement. The title of the record, Penis Envy, is the misuse of one of Freud's more absurd theories, that women generally suffered from penis envy. In other words, wanted to get either penises or a pair of trousers. There's an awful lot of his writings about girls liking little dolls because really they're penises and all that sort of rubbish. I think the whole record is trying to deal with role-playing and the fact that it is all Eve, and in fact Joy sings one of the tracks, but it's Eve and Joy, all women singing on the record, is a statement in itself from us. I mean, we're traditionally, or were at first, seen as an all-male boot band, and this record certainly puts that straight, that our sensitivities are much wider than just that element.
Is that part of the reason you're not singing on this, Steve?
Because I don't feel that it's, an over-the-top feminist sort of burn your bra statement. It's more sensitive than that. And I think not only does it let in females into what we're doing, but it lets males in as well.
Tremendous switch of image, isn't it? Bands just don't change from a male to a female voice like that. And you have. How do you think your listeners will cope with that?
Well, in the same way they did with Asylum, because the Feeding came out without any... it had one track by Joy screaming on it, so that was acceptable in terms of what people wanted to do with us. And Steve was doing the rest of the vocals. It was all real street cred stuff for the people who believe in that sort of rubbish. So the next record we brought out didn't have your archetypal Cockney voice, and it didn't have your archetypal screaming guitars. It had a bit of St Paul's Choir that we nicked off the radio on it, and it had Eve's voice, which certainly isn't a sort of Cockney scream. And we thought, well, blimey, no one's going to want this thing, but we'll put it out because that's what we want to put out. And we believe it, and if people don't, aren't big enough to accept it, well, that's tough. Well, that's gone to sort of 50,000. I was still that's been out 3 years, and it's still, I don't think it's once been out of the alternative charts. It sells and it sells and it sells. And everyone said we were mad. We're trying to push ourselves, and we trust that people want to come with us. And they do want to come with us. They don't want the same old thing time and time again. That's why we only put out records as infrequently as we do. We don't put out a record until we've got something to say.
Right. We'll hear another track from Penis Envy now. This is Where Next Columbus.
Another's hope, another's game, another's lost, another's game, another's life, another's truth, another's doubt, another's truth, another's left, another's right, another's peace, another's fight, another's name, another's aim, another's fall, another's fame, another's pride, another's shame, another's love, another's pain, another's hope, another's game, another's loss, another's gain, another's life, another's truth, another's doubt, another's truth, another's left, another's right, another's peace, another's fight, another's leader, which is your flock? Who do you watch? 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 Who's your leader, which is your flock? 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 Einstein had an idea from the confusion of his knowledge. Then there were 1,000 more turning to advantage. They realized hunger and God was dead, so they reclaimed power through the bomb instead. Another's cold, another's brave. The Charlotte's all its deadly rain. Jesus had an idea from the confusion of his soul. Then there were 1,000 more waiting to take control. The guilt is soul, forgiveness born. The cross is there as your reward. Another's love, another's pain, another's pride, another's shame. You want to shut a distance from the side you have chosen. Whose answer serve you best? Who will save you from confusion? Who will leave you an exit and a comfortable cover? Who will take you oh so near their edge but never drop you over? Watch, watch, you 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 watch.
That's Where Next Columbus from Crass's new album. Steve, what you were describing about your starting with the band and the things that were pushing you in that direction sounded very similar to what a lot of people were feeling at that time when the punk movement had some life in it. In what way was Crass different?
For me, it was just being able to say certain things which I'd never felt I'd been able to or allowed to say before. I mean, I wouldn't say that we are different from the way we set out, except that we've never gone back on our word like so many other people have.
I think in a way, though, we set out almost to be the same. I mean, we thought that everyone was out there trying to do something for people. And we thought, well, God, at last, you know, there's other people, you know, who care and who are doing things for each other. And I think we really fell for that one, you know. We went out and we were sort of giving out handouts and trying to make our records cheap and trying to make gig entry cheap. And we thought everyone was doing it. And I mean, it's sort of only dawned on us recently, you know, that everyone wasn't doing that. Everyone else was just after what they could get. And now what's happened is that there is a genuine movement starting now, you know, over maybe the last year, of people who are doing that. You know, there's a lot of small bands starting now who will keep their prices down, who aren't interested in that whole system, because we've shown it is possible.
I think that's why people at the beginning were really suspicious of us, because we put out our records so cheaply. You know, they thought there was a catch in it, you know, and there wasn't. It was just because we wanted to do that.
How did you manage to put out those records at nearly half the price that was standard?
Basically by sort of living very simply. I mean, we don't divide the money that we make. There's 10 of us and we live probably for around on something like £15 each a week. That's food and heat and everything. By sort of sharing our energies, we're able to do that, and that's what we're able to keep our prices down with. I mean, we spend a day a week doing the mail, you know, and to all those people whose mail we haven't answered yet, it's coming, folks.
Yeah.
We'll spend a day a week printing handouts. Every day there'll be something, which, I mean, it's a full-time business for us all now, because we don't employ or bring in anyone from the outside to help us, because we think it's very important that we maintain contact with people.
The most common thing is that you're labelled, oh, they're a bunch of anarchists. Are you anarchists?
We talk a lot about that, and we always end up saying, well, we're people first. Broadly, we would agree with most anarchist theory. Equally well, we'd agree with most feminist or pacifist theory as well.
So what is the mainstream of your thought, what you want to put across as a band, at least?
I think, well, what we want to put across as people is that the world's a mess, is that it's a sort of very cruel and barbaric earth to live on. We want to say, well, we're saying no. We don't agree with what's happening to the world. We won't be ruled. We won't be governed. We won't be told what to do. It's our life. We've only got one of them. And it's our planet. We've only got one of them. And we want to reclaim it. We want to say it's ours. And the more people who individually say that, the more individual people can live. You know, it doesn't matter at all about the government. They can get on with their rule and their regulations. You know, we've got to learn to step outside of that and form our own rules and regulations for ourselves, for each individual, to themselves. And if that comes at odds with the status quo, then we must oppose the status quo, which is what we do on a lot of levels.
to lay bouncing me. The system I got you, but it won't get me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't control, are you gonna let it get you? Gonna be a prisoner of bad state section. Say you wanna be a summer, gonna be no lecture. You're out to get you. Hello, this is the Lord God, can you hear? Hellfire and damnation, what I've done for you down there. On earth I have ambassadors, Archbishop, Vicar, Pope. We'll fight you with morality, you best abandon any hope. We're telling you, you'd better pray, cause you were born in sin. Right from the start, we'll build a cell, and then we'll lock you in. We're sitting only judgment, condemning those that stray. We offer our forgiveness, but first we'll make you pay. If they'll control, are you gonna let them get you? Gonna be a prisoner of bad state section. Say you wanna be a summer, gonna be no lecture. You're out to get you.
That's Big A, Little A. Steve Ignorant featured there. That's the B-side of Nagasaki Nightmare, the Crass single, which has been in the charts that is the independent charts, I must stress, for a long time. It never quite made it into the official charts for reasons we can only speculate upon. I've been talking to The Beat recently, who are a band of goodwill, I would say. They were organising a record for the anti-nukes campaign, and they approached you, I don't know if you personally, but someone from Crass anyway, to suggest that you might do a track on that, which seemed perhaps a good cause that you'd be sympathetic with, and you refused. They said on the grounds that you wouldn't play with anyone who was associated with big business as they are, because GoFeed is licensed through Arista and so on.
We made a decision not to work for No Nukes music, not because we don't support what they do. We absolutely support what they do, in the same way as we supported basically what RAR was about. I mean, we've criticised RAR.
Yeah, very, very viciously.
We have done.
On the stations of the Crass.
Obviously the overall message they're putting over, we'd wholeheartedly support the method of putting over that message. We don't support at all, and the political involvement. I'm not saying that No Nukes music has got the same political involvement.
You mean parties?
Yeah, but the No Nukes decision came about because we felt that the whole word No Nukes trivialised the whole issue. I mean, to call something that can kill millions of people in one blast a nuke is really small. I don't know what else you can call it, but you don't sort of trivialise it, make it into a neat little package and call it a nuke. I mean, it's not a laugh, it's not a giggle. It matters to us, you know, and I think that the decision not to work directly for No Nukes music came out of that. We do a lot of work for CND. We are doing a lot of work broadly supporting No Nukes, but not directly so, simply because of the name. Because it's a trivialisation of an exceedingly serious issue. We'll put out a record like Nagasaki, which I think puts over that message pretty strong, and probably we'll put up CND membership pretty enormously. And we put out, you know, the free patch with it, which had anti-war sign on it, and it had Crass on it. And the reason it had Crass on it is if it just said anti-war, maybe, you know, the 50,000 people who buy that record wouldn't wear it. If it's got our name on it, it will. Our name doesn't matter to us. What matters is that people are wearing a patch with anti-war written on it. But if a way of that happening is that we put our name on it, we'll put our name on it. You know, obviously we'd like to throw the name away. I mean, the name means precisely what it means, which is a load of old rubbish.
Come on, my with your fist. Squeeze me, make me feel. I let my heels, I'm an easy kill. Tease me, make me see you're the only one I need to be. Thank you, will you take me? Thank you, will you play me? Thank you, will you play me? Use me, don't lose me. Taste me, don't waste me. Use, lose, taste, waste.
And that was Crass from their album Penis Envy. They really are just about the only true underground group in this country that I know of anyway. And if you're into that, maybe you'd like to get into the Dead Kennedys as well. They're an American band who are on a similar level. Right, this is something by Rose Tattoo. It's called Astra Wally.